The one from Lesotho.
Oh, Bruno Pumas. Is it?
Styles Puma.
Styles,
Yes. That was Styles Puma there. Moroka Swallows is back. Now it's Swallows FC. And this is where you made your name, you know. So on my left corner is former Super Eagles #1, Greg Itafia. On my right, oh man. This man, he did very well with Uganda Cranes, but never played the AFCON, but came very close. There's a result that I'm told that it's interesting that you were very close and Kenya beat you, or they drew with you.
It was twice before eventually qualified. So we laid the foundation, and we are glad that in this breathing time now we were able in our lifetime to witness Uganda Cranes sing the national anthem during the AFCON. So that's a great milestone.
Great stuff, man. Great stuff. So yes, this is Timothy Batabaire. Siwelele Samasogolara. That's where he made his name. And then he moved to Bidvest Wits. And I think by the time he moved to Bidvest Wits, it was just before Hunt arrived there at the time. Right?
It was before he arrived there. It was 2010. We had the honor of opening the FNB Stadium. I think the first crop of players to win a medal.
Oh, yes.
Before
a month before the World Cup started.
Exactly. Before the likes of Spain could host their trophy, we did host that trophy from the FNB Stadium in 2010. Yeah.
So, as you know, there has to be a left, on my left and on my right, these are the two boxers. I'm the referee and there's a judge. And the judge has just came in. He comes all the way from Kinshasa. I'm a self-confessed Vita fan. I've never been a fan of TP Mazembe, maybe because of what happened to me in 2013 in Lubumbashi.
So you are conflicted.
Yeah. But we're also joined by one of the respected football minds on the continent, especially when it comes to administrative matters in terms of bringing them out. But most importantly, the element, because I like the fact that you always talk commercial, the commercial side of the game, Mr. Jeff Katala.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's been really a very long time.
Yeah, very long time.
I missed this show actually, and the path that I went through during the coronavirus. So we're here today. It's very, very, very comforting to be among the knowledgeable people of African football and the management side as well. So I'm very privileged.
Maybe just before we start with our official program, I will start with you, Jeff. The importance of having a platform like this, talking African football, and in a manner in which we're talking about it here, but also try to connect this country with what the rest of the continent is doing.
It's not only about South Africa alone, but a lot of people in Africa, they don't know about African game. It's been my motto, it's been my leitmotif, motive, because most of the time when I talk about football, I say that Africans should embrace their own game, rather than, so when you ask us anybody on the street to name the starting 11 of Liverpool and Chelsea and Arsenal and Manchester, they will do it to you even if they close their eyes. But when you ask them to name the start 11 of Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, Alali, Raja, Wydad, Art of Oak, Eyimba. I was going to say Bandel Insurance.
Let's focus on teams that make semifinals and quarterfinals.
And the ones that won the tournament twice. Eyimba is there. You can't leave Eyimba out of it.
Yeah, so they don't know nothing. They know nothing about African football. So it is upon us to try to make a lot of noise, to teach them about African game. But it also depends on African administrators and also footballers to try to put the foot up front and talk about our own game. I'm talking about...
As a journalist, I will admit that maybe also ourselves we're not doing enough as journalists in terms of promoting the African game. And I'm sure this is also something that you agree with.
I definitely agree. We have got a very big challenge that our African football in itself is not a brand. We have got so many negative stories being portrayed versus the European brand. So many people are finding comfort in the fact that they can set up businesses based on European football showing in their studios, in their bars, vis-a-vis Africa. And so they have taken that population, the African population, to feed into the European narrative. So it's our responsibility at this moment in time to start telling the good stories about the likes of Etafia, many players that we have got. We have to speak about Pitso Mosimane's decision to leave his comfort place in Sundowns to go and test the waters in Egypt. Those stories need to be told and reverberate across Africa so that any coach can dream that he can coach anywhere else.
Yeah, but I remember there's a certain company that approached me to ask me what do I think about Messi, putting up a fight to leave Barcelona. And they called themselves Something Africa. And I say, man, as long as you call yourself Something Africa and you're asking me about something in Spain, I will not. I'm not chance.
Rajev, I relate to what you're saying. Some years ago, I think 2-3 years ago, I got a call from a Ghanaian radio station. And they wanted me to talk about a West Ham game, an EPL game. I told them, next time, please never call me about EPL football.
Yeah.
Being an African station. If you want us to talk African football,
yes, of course.
Anytime. Talking about African football, this week, from last week, in fact, from the international week, I heard some people were bored. And I felt, because it was international football, and I felt, for me, we have to understand the importance of having the national teams playing, because football is not just about club football only, it's also about the national teams. But there were some very interesting matches, I have to say, especially from the African front. When you look at, I watched the game of Algeria, just some highlights against Mexico. But before that, Algeria, they played against Nigeria.
Yeah, Super Eagles.
The Super Eagles.
Yeah.
Former Super Eagles.
Super chicken.
Somebody's calling them Super Eagles.
They cannot be Super Eagles.
Yeah, but let's first start about this Algerian team.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a country to win the AFCON, but then as soon as they win, they go on a downslope, they don't do well. But this is a team which is unbeaten in the last 20 matches. 16 wins. On top of those 16 wins, I think 4 draws as well.
Yeah.
So this is a team that has been doing very well, coached by an African coach and reigning coach of the year on the continent, Jamel Belmadi. I mean, you look at their win over Nigeria, but also for me, you look at the result against Mexico.
Yeah, for them, I think they have everything going for them because, they have been there together. Most of the players that are coming in is just, the coach is just bringing 1 or 2 players just to add in for what he has, what he have in the AFCON, I remember the last time they loses against Morocco, if I'm not mistaken, 3-0, Morocco beat them, They have done well, they beat Zambia 5, Botswana, you expect them to beat, if you're number 1 and you beat Super Eagles, you have to beat other teams too like that. So, Super Eagles game was one of those games, Nigeria, the coach, Gonarao, trying to experiment in terms of a lot of new players, try to give them an opportunity because, coming to the qualifiers, which is going to be next month, you need to see some players that we, at least raise their hand up and, because the like of Ndidi is not there and Etebo, they're not there. So I just feel Algerian side is a very good side. And that game was a very good game, They deserve to win that game because Nigeria didn't really play well in that game. Playing the game against Mexico, it was a very good game because saw a lot of goals and 2-2 draw. You have the likes of Mahrez scoring that goals too.
And bear in mind, they were 1 man down. Yeah, for a better part of the game.
You see, that's why in Africa now they're ranking, top there because from the Nations Cup they carry on, and with the friendly game, you can't really judge in the friendly game, but at the same time, you make sure you win the friendly games to give hope to your qualifiers. So, but with Nigeria, we are very disappointed in that game. But nevertheless, we just use those players that can just, one or two players, just keep them there.
It's imperative not to use words like experimenting, because the national team is not for experimenting.
No, we're not experimenting.
But the national team is the ultimate.
Yeah.
The player that is there is the one that is supposed to be there at a particular time. So we
for Nigerian part.
But also,
let me get my argument.
I think let me defend you. Let me defend you.
Yeah.
This particular international week was the last international week where you are going to play friendlies until 2022.
You see, yeah.
So in terms of looking at what you have outside your core, this was the only time. There'll be no more time for experimenting.
In the national team, they don't teach you how to play football because you're the best at your position.
Yeah.
So they just call you, they put you together, and the coach will just talk into the team, and you know what to do on the pitch. And this is why you see Europe has organized National League or League of Nations.
Yes.
Because to avoid those things, because there's nothing at stake actually for me to go and play for the national team.
Okay, so are you then saying we must follow what UEFA is doing?
We have to come up. We have to scrap Chen because
we cannot follow.
No. I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Chen is a waste of time.
Chen is a waste of time.
Chen is a waste of time. Chen is a waste of time.
Waste of money.
Let's listen to Jeff.
I think it's a milk cow that should not be entertained. It should not be fair to continue. Chan should be scrapped.
Why?
No. You have Sekafa. You have Sekafa Championship. You have Kosafa Senior Challenge. You have Wafu.
Two Sekafa.
Sekafa
Club and Sekafa national team.
You have Wafu. You understand? No, come on.
No, we have
please.
to play what we have.
And then the Arab nations are also playing in the Arab land.
Because there's some of the players, the home-based players.
Let me tell you. Etafia.
Okay.
If you are not good enough for the national team, why should we remember you as second best?
No, the opportunity.
No,
you remember the Nigerian national team. In '94,
Name for me one player who has been groomed
from the home base.
From Chan.
From the Chan.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, let me start home base. Well, let me start with the home base. Vincent Eyama came from Eyimba. There was no Chan that time. I'm saying, let me give you an example. Because for that opportunity.
You know what? I can help you. I'm not supporting your argument.
Let me go for Nigeria.
I can help to
answer for you. Let me go for Nigerian
We saw everybody.
The home base.
Verily. For Chan.
Yeah.
What is important for CAF to advocate for is to strengthen the local leagues.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
For
but not through the Chan.
Just make sure. Make sure, for example, let me give you an example.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have got a very strong PSL as a league in this country.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is to get these players into the national team to compete. Now, we all know that Africa, our leagues are not as strong. We need to encourage our players to go to Europe.
Mr. Vele, sorry, let me comment, Timothy. When they were playing AFCON now, when I talk about the PSA players, they're representing the most of the countries there. You said, no, PSA is a weak league. Now you are saying PSA have a strong league.
No.
Remember what
he said?
Okay,
Jeff, I don't want us to lose the original point.
Yeah, the original point.
These two boxers on
the original
my
point.
left and on my right.
Mr. Vele.
Wait.
No, let
Jeff,
me finish my point.
I'm interested in the point that you're bringing.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of following everything that Europe is doing.
Okay.
But Africanize this idea for us.
Yes, I've been saying most of the time that I want that chance to be scrapped and to promote the under-23, because the under-23 will be the future national teams of Africa tomorrow. But most of the time we do nothing about, we call them the Olympics.
Yeah,
we
see them once in 4 years.
Once in 4 years, which is
Jeff, we have a problem on the African continent. When we talk about under-23, it's more on paper. So we don't have a very success story of these under-23s coming through into the national squad.
They've started already because we had the two.
So when we talk about under-23, we have got a little bit of excellent, older players playing under-23. So we have that challenge now.
No, that was before. But now we have
to tell it very well.
My argument is. My argument is Nigerian. What do you call it? The league haven't started. Since March.
What's new?
Wait.
What's new?
The players,
What's new in Nigeria?
The players,
What's new?
the two,
But
the
was
players,
there-
I'm just giving an
was
example.
there the league?
With the
Was
pandemic
there-
and everything. If the Chan is in like this year, like we're playing this year now, you
Yes.
still have the home base.
We're
that
playing
can-
Chan in 2 months' time, eh? In 3
Why
months'
should
time,
they be
actually.
second best to Enyimba, to Vincent Yama? You.
No, in terms of now or in terms of
No,
long time?
let's say that you play in the national team now. Why should we be second best just
There's-
because
there's-
you're playing in Africa
there's-
and he plays in Europe?
Yeah, because look, let me give you an example. Sometimes when they invite you in the national team, some of the coaches they check where you play. If you play in England, automatically you're coming to play straight away, first 11. You play in Israel League or maybe in Poland or the Polish league. You have to struggle to get into the national team. The likes of Ndidi, the likes of Uobi, they go straight into.
But when I was opening here,
yeah.
and I was talking about 2004,
Yeah.
where you came back with the bronze medal, you were playing for Swallows.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was there. I was in the AFCON. But that time, Vincent Yama was in Israel. So you compare a player in Israel, that was a local coach, that was a local coach that time. You compare a player in Israel and in South Africa, mind you, they were playing Champions League.
No, because Vincent Yama was already in the national team when he was playing for Enyimba.
No, he was in the national team when he played for Imba. You
Yes,
remember?
yes.
You remember
But
after
going
then?
to Israel didn't
after
change
then,
anything.
no, after then, before he went to Israel, him and Dela Imba, the first keeper and the second keeper, they
Yeah.
came from Imba. And they went straight to Israel, the both of them.
Yeah,
so
but he was
give you
already in the
advantage.
national team.
But
For me-
what I'm saying
for
the
me,
local
let me-
players,
let me
the
tell
local
you,
players,
by the time-
Vincent, to take over for Ikechukwu,
Yeah.
he was coming from the home base, and he was doing very well in the local league. With the Chan tournament, that's where you have the local players to play.
No,
Only the local
but-
players.
no,
Give
but-
the opportunity to
No.
be seen.
Etafia.
Okay.
That's what my argument.
Etafia,
Okay.
from playing Chan as a local player,
Yeah.
what's the ultimate?
The ultimate is to win the tournament. The ultimate is for scout to come and see you in that tournament.
No,
For
no,
you
no.
to go to
The
Europe.
ultimate
That's
should
no. That's what
the
I'm trying to say.
ultimate should play in the AFCON.
No.
First and foremost.
If you cannot
Yes.
play, wait,
No,
but you
no,
start
no,
from
no, no.
somewhere.
No.
If you want to build
Yeah,
a
but you
house,
started
you
the
build
club.
the foundation.
You started the
No,
club.
if you want to start, if you want to build a
You
house,
cannot
start
be in the
with
national team without playing
Yeah.
for a club.
Chan
Okay.
is close to
So
the AFCON.
so the consensus,
Yeah.
scrap Chan.
Yes.
For me,
Come up with another
Yes.
model,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
necessarily
So no.
copying Europe.
Wait.
Yes.
There are 3 votes against you.
Yes.
So
you have to come
No,
up.
you don't have to
We
vote.
have to come up.
You
with,
don't have to vote.
No, wait. We have to come up with another model. Look now, Onyango was called by Uganda, but Motepe refused because it's a friendly.
Yeah.
Nothing at stake.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
The club, actually,
no, in fact, wait,
clubs
wait.
have the rights. FIFA say clubs have the rights in terms of this
No,
COVID-19.
No. That was during the time when we had lockdown.
We were just saying, we are still level one.
No. Now, since
We are in level one. We still-
No. You must help him with FIFA statutes, eh?
Yeah.
No, they have that. They say that. They say
In
that
fact,
the club have the rights.
This becomes a very important point because most nations, in fact, all the nations, were using these games to prepare for the resumption of the AFCON qualifiers next month.
November, yeah.
So what Sundowns did in refusing to release Dennis Onyango to Uganda, it was unfair to Uganda.
Look, it's very interesting because what was happening is Uganda was not going for friendly games. Uganda was going for a team building exercise, and that was in Dubai.
Yeah, but Onyango doesn't.
And now what's happening is we already know what Onyango can do. We already recognize the fact that Onyango has just ended the season and he has been playing week in, week out.
So why are they
Hundreds of
complaining?
injured.
Why are they
So
complaining?
what is important was it was in the best interest of the club to protect Dennis Onyango. And I'm sure at this moment in time,
Why?
Uganda Cranes at this moment in time should appreciate that too. Because in this moment, you cannot allow Dennis Onyango to get sick in any way or get injured. It will be to the disservice of the national team.
Yeah,
But who is the captain?
And remember he got injured during the bubble.
Yeah.
And that's when Kennedy Mwine came in and he played some of the matches until Onyango returned for the final against Celtic.
Exactly.
Yeah. So in this case, it was a good decision by Sundowns.
I think it was a good decision by Sundowns, but what is important is communication. There has to be that, you have to create that country-club relationship so that communication does not filter into to look as if they're at war with each other.
Correct.
And also as a player, you may wish to play in every game. there has to be somewhere to manage you so that you don't burn out.
Okay.
And also, coming back to the scraping of the CHAN, and for me also the friendlies, but we have to strengthen our regional tournament. The Sekafa, the Wafu, the CAS, and they have to be known.
Exactly.
But we don't do much about it.
Except Kosafa.
Except Kosafa. Yeah, but the whole that look now, there are certain teams who that don't want to go to CHAN, like Egypt. Egypt doesn't want to play CHAN.
Yeah. They don't even play qualifiers.
They don't even because they use the very same players.
Yes.
No, we take them out, we play. We can play with us. We take them out, we play.
We struggle to release players.
Yeah, that's why after the AFCON, there were people laughing at South Africa saying they were being kicked out by Lesotho. I said no, they didn't put on the pitch the players who came from Egypt after the AFCON. Yes, which is quite normal. Why should I waste my best players to go and play?
But you still have players in the league. You have, I mean, it's a team here. We have those ones that go to AFCON. They don't want to play. There's other players there that can play.
How many times have you seen Egypt in CHAN?
For me, let me tell you,
we can't judge Egypt. Egypt, there is a different scenario.
They use the very same players.
It's very important to recognize that Egypt doesn't desire to participate in CHAN. Why? Because their league is very competitive. It's well structured.
Yeah.
It's well managed.
Yeah.
Now, the creation of CHAN
Yeah.
is just to accommodate the inefficiency of administrators in various
No.
Yes, yes.
What about the local people?
So for me,
Because
for
for
instance,
me,
if
this
we
has always
strengthen
been my
the local
point.
leagues, we strengthen the local
Exactly.
leagues.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
become very
Mr. Mbele,
competitive.
there's two things we can talk about.
No. The problem, especially with some of the leading countries, national teams, especially in West Africa, is to think that the best of African football should be national teams.
Yeah.
Where we're
Yeah.
using players who are based in Europe.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that situation is not showing a healthy football situation in a country.
True.
You know, because now I'm going to ask you, yes, we talk about Senegal. You know, but which is the leading Senegalese club that is constantly in the group stages? They hardly make group stages on the African continent. So
that's why you need to use the
consensus
CHAN.
here is that
That's why you need to use the CHAN.
No.
That's why you need to use the CHAN to build the players. If you cannot go to
The promotion.
you start from the small.
No,
short game.
Etafia.
So
The promotion
I
of
think
CHAN.
CHAN is the best
Etafia.
opportunity for the
The
local
promotion
players
now.
who cannot make it.
No,
Okay.
Etafia.
I think
The
like-
promotion of CHAN
Yeah.
is promoting inefficiency in administration because the FA presidents are hiding under the fact that they are qualifying for
Thank
CHAN.
you.
We cannot promote
Thank
inefficiency in administration. They need to make sure that they strengthen the leagues.
Etafia,
Give
you
us
have
the
been
best
from
product
talking
of the
about
players to go into AFCON
yes.
and then qualify for AFCON.
Yes.
For me,
No, wait.
give the local
Jeff,
players.
I will use the powers invested in me
Yeah.
to proceed to the next friendly match we are talking about. And this man, because I see that he wants to continue talking, let's come to your Super Eagles.
Yeah.
The Super Eagles, Genedro, I was shaken.
No, you don't have to.
You know, I was shaken.
You don't have to be shaken.
I was
It's Super
shaken. I
Eagles.
think around June to find that Nigeria didn't know where they were in terms of do they continue with Genedro or they just want to dump him after what he's done for them. But let's look at
What has he done?
No, he has done well. For me, he has done well.
Well, as a South African,
For
that
me,
is not.
can
As
you-
a
for the past-
South
for the past-
African, as a
for
South
the past
African that has not been
tournaments-
going to World Cups.
For the past
so
tournament,
I will not
we qualify
argue.
without having
I
stress.
will not argue. And I think we've seen more Nigeria than DRC at the World Cups.
Yeah,
So,
no.
Super Eagles.
If it was not for Bondo of Botswana, Zambia would have gone to the World Cup.
Now, what is happening here is Etafia is proud to announce that he better qualifies than winning any championship.
No.
Let's talk about, now let's focus on the result.
Yeah.
You look at your loss to Algeria, and then you also held
Tunisia.
And I think you scored first against Tunisia.
Yeah,
and
with Henacho.
Yes, and you didn't have Victor Osimhen.
Yeah.
In this camp.
Otebo
as well.
Yeah.
So looking at these results,
I think for the Super Eagles they did very well. Most especially the second game against Tunisia, because we could have gone 2 goals up if Henacho didn't miss that penalty. And it could have been something different. But at the end of the day, as you always say, it's a friendly game. You can't really judge. But the good thing, the coach gave a lot of opportunities to the players. You see a player like Okoye, the goalkeeper, who has done well. The 2 games, I think for me, he has done very well. He gives a lot of competition to the likes of Francis Uzu and Danny Akpeyi now. It's going to be a lot of competition. You check the right back, you have Dazi there, who came from Germany, have done well too. You have a GK there in the midfield, but you have normal suspects there. The Musas, you expect them. Omero, you expect them to do very well. Balogun, they were there, But I think generally, if you put that 2 games together, I think some of the players that have raised their hand to come back to play against Sierra Leone next month, most especially the goalkeeper too. I think for me, he has done very well. And
I think when you look at the double fixtures against Sierra Leone, that's where you will be securing your qualification.
Yeah, it's home and away. We play first of all. We play Nasaba. Give them 4. Go to Sierra Leone and just round up the everything there. So, but I think it's going to be a tough game.
So that will be 6 points, and that's 12 points, and home and dry.
General, that's all he has been doing that for the last 3 tournaments. He qualified before. Normally in Nigeria, you use calculator to check when are we going to beat. But these days, we just relax, and a game before the qualifiers finish, you already know that we already qualified. We did that with you guys, you remember. So, we're used to it. It's just to go to the main tournament now and win. We're tired of coming third, and we just want to go and win this Nations Cup. I think Jeff will agree with me with that.
But
I'm not a fan of friendlies. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't like friendlies because then there's nothing at stake. You see the best player. Why Victor didn't come?
No, because when you have a big transfer like that and you're playing the friendly games against Tunisia and against Algeria, your best player.
It is a national team. It's a national team. You got to come.
Well, sometimes I don't blame.
Why Partey has went to Ghana?
Yeah, Partey just make a transfer in terms of going to Arsenal. For him, I think maybe because it's closer in Europe there, they play because most of the friendly games were playing in Europe.
Yes.
So it was easier for most of the players to easily go there.
And this was the second reason why I don't like them, because most of the friendlies,
because they're not playing in their countries.
They don't play in their countries.
But it's difficult.
Yeah.
And it can be very beneficial to the country.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But it's not. We don't play in our countries. We go and play on training ground in Europe.
Not
even in the big stadium.
These are abnormal times, Jeff.
No.
In terms of
most
traveling,
of the time.
No.
So
I know we've been in that situation.
So
we went to play in London against Egypt.
No, don't use this time to justify that.
These abnormal times, they are affecting the whole world.
The whole world.
No, but in terms of traveling, in terms of traveling,
very difficult.
But
not in terms
this is what
of
we were saying.
Even if they used to before this period.
Yes.
But when our African national teams were playing in Europe, there were nobody there just because they were playing in Europe. But what if they were playing in Africa?
And we have a situation where some match agents are making the top dollar, and those match agents are Europeans.
Most of the time, they are Europeans. Most of the time. And they are the one who arrange those friendlies because they've got the FIFA license to do so.
But you see, for me again, when you talk about this scenario, it's easier for most of the players playing in Europe when you organize a friendly game.
Now you see,
this is
where you get it
no,
all
it's
wrong.
easier. You cannot travel because
this is the biggest.
For instance, you expect someone to play in.
You know why he liked it? Because he was playing in Africa. So during this time, he will be traveling to Europe. So for him,
it was more easier for a lot of players.
It boils back to what I talked about. Our administration is inept. If we have got our structures, we have got a brand as African football. There is no need for us,
Mr. Tim,
to be
for
going to play
game
in a training ground in Europe and coming to play home.
Yeah.
At this moment in time,
Ndidi was injured.
Etafia.
Otebo was injured. That's why they're not.
No. Etafia.
But other players were there.
Etafia.
Invited, they were there.
Etafia.
So it's easier for them to go from London to Austria.
No.
From Belgium to France.
Etafia.
It's easier for the guys to play. That's why you see most of the team.
Where do they play?
But Etafia, do you know?
They don't play at Stade de France. They don't play the they play on training.
You cannot come. You cannot.
But when you see for a friendly England between Belgium, they play at Wembley.
It's easier. It's easier.
No.
You cannot expect
Jeff. For me,
like Nigeria want to play against Sierra Leone, friendly game.
No.
Travel to Sierra Leone,
No.
for a friendly game.
No.
And
Listen,
he's going to play for his club the next week.
Etafia.
No, you want him to quarantine.
Etafia.
You want them to lose points.
Etafia, no.
Let's play.
But if you play in Nigeria, you play in the national stadium. Nothing else.
Yeah.
So what is important is it's abnormal times.
Yeah.
If the Super Eagles play in Nigeria,
Yeah.
can you just picture a situation where the national team is gonna morale boost the nationals?
I'm playing for
to
Italy
believe
now. Because
the Super Eagles have come back to play in Nigeria.
To pass
That's
Ghana,
a huge,
to pass
that's a huge impact.
Liberia, to go to Nigeria and play.
No.
And if something happened,
Hope.
Nigeria, in African country now, most of the people, they don't even care about say there's anything like the COVID-19 something. They don't care because the European teams, they care. They don't want you to go.
So we should care.
I think the sooner we move from,
easier.
I think the sooner we move from the Super Eagles, the better.
No,
Because
the easier way, get your best player to play friendly game in Europe. It's easier for everybody to meet you.
No, it's not that
We are visiting Europe.
Solution.
Yeah.
No. They are representing Nigeria. Come back to Nigeria.
To play against who in Nigeria? You want Nigeria to play against who in Nigeria?
And then
You
we're
play
coming back to
Tunisia.
the same,
You play
to the
Tunisia. Why-
administrator. They have to
Yeah.
organize very well those games to be played in their own country, unless they are invited for a special tournament. I cannot believe that Senegal is going to play against Qatar on a training ground in Paris.
yeah. So talking about teams which were playing on the African continent, and proudly so.
Yeah.
Right here on our doorstep, we had the Zambian national team.
Yeah.
I know they've been itching to play under Mitchell for the first time. Okay, they played a Chan game. Actually, Jeff, before we get into the result of this game, I thought in terms of preparing for this international week, yes, because Mitchell was trying to look at the team, but I thought Zambia had oversubscribed a bit, because before they played the matches, especially against South Africa, there was talk that FIFA has not approved the friendly match against South Africa because you are only allowed 2 international friendlies during an international week, and they had Mali, in fact Malawi, they had Kenya. And they had Bafana. But their reasoning was that the game against Malawi, they were going to use players who were going to play in the Chan squad. But Malawi was also using international players.
Yeah, but this is what I say, that Africa, we have to affirm ourselves. But why FIFA has to dictate how many games we should play during the international, whatever they call it. Yeah. But we can also, I don't know why Zambia hasn't come up with this kind of reasoning to say that we are within COSAFA region. And this is nothing to do with CAF, with FIFA. Yeah. We are within our COSAFA region. We can play friendly because there are no more games.
The FIFA break?
Yes, but the FIFA...
But it doesn't matter. It's within the same region.
No, but it's FIFA break. You have to abide to their rules. It's a FIFA break. They say you're allowed to play 2 games.
Football is played according to the rules.
Yeah,
but we can also come up with our own rules.
No, you cannot create
But you
your
must
own
change the rules in the Congress.
No.
But you cannot just...
Because UEFA, why FIFA is not imposing that on UEFA? Only on CAF. Why?
Because UEFA comes with the UEFA Nations League. Remember in September we didn't play. We only played now.
Yeah.
And UEFA was backing with this UEFA Nations League.
Yeah, but the main reason why that the National League is there, because they don't want to play friendly with you guys. They want to play among themselves.
But for me,
Well,
I think
we saw Cote d'Ivoire playing against Belgium.
yeah.
Yes, but they did play, but that game was not as passionate as when they played against England.
Belgium, that is.
Belgium, yeah. Belgium against England.
And
because I watched that game against Cote d'Ivoire.
And Cote d'Ivoire managed to draw there.
Yeah, but
But Jeff,
but in an international
playing in a training field.
International game.
In a training field as compared to...
Most of the time, I take the example of Senegal. When Senegal qualified to go to the World Cup in 2002, they just played in the final of AFCON in 2002 in Mali.
Yeah.
And for 3 or 4 months, they didn't play any friendly. Look what they did at the World Cup.
Interesting. When it comes to Zambia, I watched their game against Kenya. Yeah. Kenya led 2-0, and at some stage I felt Zambia had done by there. There was an assistant referee on the other side, a clean goal that would have made it 2-2. But Zambia bounced back, and Zambia landed at Tambo Airport on Saturday night at 9, drove all the way to Rustenburg, So I think Zambia maybe slept around 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And the following day, they woke up and dominated South Africa and beat them.
That shows that their mental strength before the talent takes precedent. They are well prepared. The conditions that are experienced by Bafana players are different. So the players of Zambia recognize the fact that if they perform well, they stand an opportunity to be signed by various teams, and they stand an opportunity to go further. Now, when in comparison to South Africa, this is a scenario where you think you have won the game before it's played. And I think that is the psychic that has to change with the likes of Bafana to go further. They have got great players. The facilities, the resources are abundant in this nation. Just to change the mentality that we need to play and leave everything on the field of play, I think you can get Bafana back on top.
For me, I mean, we always speak about Bafana. I mean, I think for the last AFCON, where they play, they did very well. I think the continuation should have been there in terms of, there's one player I just argue about, no matter as a coach, if you have an argument or if you have anything, you have to sort it out. It's a friendly game. And the players is trying to sort out this club side issue. I don't know what's happening. I'm talking about Zungu.
And I think it has to be said that before the selection was done, Zungu had played only 16 minutes of action.
But it was part...
And since, we're talking about since March.
Yeah.
And he had been going through this, and also from the core. From the core, he was not the only one. Who had not been selected.
But if you play a friendly game like this,
and the team was full of youthful players, So I'm just trying to give you a picture on selection. But still, it doesn't defend the fact that Bafana should have done better.
We always know what they're going to do, We're just expecting a miracle. They're going to lose. We know they're going to lose. But the thing I'm trying to say is just...
is that what they are saying when you're in camp at Highlands?
No, but let me tell you, the national team the national team is not a grooming ground. It's not it's not for development. The national team.
That's why you're supposed to bring your core. That's why you're supposed to bring your core.
You must have the core of the national team. The national team coach should know the first 11 of his national team. And then the rest can be just to fill in those missing gaps. So you cannot tell me at this moment in time that you have got a player signing up for Rangers. And he's not good enough for Bafana in this time.
No,
it's wrong.
For me, my argument.
For me, it comes back to the management of the player.
I'm saying to you, the player, at the time the squad was selected, the player had played only 60 minutes of football. And in fact, at that time, he was also having problems with his club at the time. And in fact, him concluding the deal got concluded after.
Mr. Verley.
After the selection was
as
done.
A coach,
even if the deal was done when he was already selected, he doesn't have to be there when the deal is signed.
I think
his agent can do it, and he will come and complete.
And Jeff,
but I think there's another element here.
As a coach,
we must not treat this issue as it's just an issue about
Zungu.
An on-field matter.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
But today, it's a story for another day. Because today I spoke to the SAFA CEO around this issue because there were some serious underlying issues.
Okay.
And as someone who was in camp last week, I also understand that the players are very unhappy in the manner in which Zungu appears to be how can I put this? He appears not to be disrespecting the coach. And in the same vein, there's also a video that has been doing the rounds of Zungu talking about my players are dead players who are being selected over him.
Okay.
So this has not gone down well with the camp.
Hence
now the leadership, because this thing has been presented to them before. They have to do something about it. And we all agree this is a top player. This is a top player. A consensus has to be reached. A solution has to be found where the player and the technical team and possibly the coach, they resolve these issues. And because now it's no longer just about him and the coach, but also his teammates.
For me, okay, teammates.
let me tell you, with the management of players, one, egos are going to come into play.
True. That's why the men.
These are all men. Now, Zungu is successful in all definition of a footballer currently. So the way you're going to manage him, his frustration to come out was because he was dropped on the first initial by the coach, and yet he was there. Now, he felt hard done. If the administration and the management is right, that was the time to get in contact with the player.
Yeah.
And try to share the vision to make him understand.
So you mean
now, let me tell you,
mean
as players...
The people in the office now?
Yes,
Okay.
even the
Yes,
coach.
even the coach.
In my experience as a player,
And the team manager.
when a player of that caliber is going through challenges at his club level, he always expects a soft landing from the national team. That's the time when the national team calls him back to cool off in the national team. Then the player will recognize that, yes, the national team recognized me. I would love to give my best for the national team. You don't discard him. I can tell you an example. A player on the bench in Europe, on any European team, is better than a player who is playing. I can tell you that. His training methodologies going through in Europe are better than some of the coaches.
No, Mr. Tim. No. How can you say a player is playing Division 12 in Europe there is better than a player that's playing the PSA?
Every week, for me, I don't agree.
Every week
they are playing the reserve league.
For me, Mr. Belli, I don't agree with you.
It depends on the
player
league.
playing Division 2.
Jeff, I'm listening to the players.
Yes.
It's all good listening to the players.
We had the
but
player-
me and you, from the journalism side of things,
Yeah.
where we talk to the officials, we talk
Yeah.
to the players.
True.
As much as, yes, we have to defend the players. But where do we draw the line in terms of discipline?
Now, in terms of discipline, we have to understand where it all started. Because for me, as he said, he's very right to say that the coach would have been the first to call the player. To say, no, I'm not selecting you due to certain reason, because. But next time, you will be the first on my list. But you have to approach the player, because after all, he is a human. And you have to have that methodology, how to speak to them. The team manager, most of the time, is there for that. The team manager has to speak to the player, or even the people in the FA. They have to speak to the player, and the coach too. It's not that you drop him and he goes out, he makes a noise, and you include him in the list. No, that's a very bad approach. And that's why most of the time we've seen Eto'o, Drogba, challenging the FAs. Because they don't know how to approach the players.
For me, let me go into that situation. As I said earlier, continuation could have been best for Bafana. You bring Zungu in, even though you're not going to play as he did, with the Namibia game. You remember they played Namibia first before they play Zambia.
Correct.
Zambia is going to be definitely going to be the strong game they're going to play. Namibia, you can invite some of the players like he did and play. Try to see who's going to raise up his hand. Because the qualifier, you don't have chance. You don't have time to experiment too much, because the next month is the main qualifier, which, we know South Africa always, the way they start, you think they're playing against a weaker country.
So, Jeff,
Yes.
immediately after the game, the SAFA president comes. I want to know if that was the right approach. The SAFA president comes and he says on national television, in the next camp, the coach must bring these players.
No.
And then he comes there.
You don't have to do that. And if he has to do that, you have to be with the coach and the team manager beside him. It's not his prerogative to go and decide on who will be in the camp. And for me, the coach could have called Zungu, because he was not in the list, to say, you're not playing the first game, but please come. I want you to come.
No,
to
because
be there.
it is simple. Because for me, this is something simple. This is a player that you'll build your team on. Now, if he's not having game time in his club, why not give him game time? And he has that interaction, the bonding with the rest of his teammates. And then you nip that in the bud. Now, what is happening here is, remember, it's very important to manage this. These players are in the same age bracket. They believe they are the same. And they're talking about Bafana players. They're in the same age bracket. They're talking about the same things. You don't have the experienced players who are going to guide them. You don't have that in Bafana. So you're going to have to struggle in this moment in time, because you have got these young players who are top players, but they are young in the same age bracket. And they have been doing the same things in this club level.
That's the
so it's a very important,
because
they have to fight. They don't have the experienced players to guide the young players through it. And that's the key problem for Bafana Bafana now.
And the difficult part again, you know,
lack of personalities.
when you're assistant coach, you know, and you just come out from a tournament, you know, Stuart Baxter took them to the big tournament.
Correct.
He was there.
Correct.
So some of the players, maybe you have, you know, it's normal. Some of the assistant coaches in the national team or the club side, some of the players don't respect you in terms of, you know, yeah. So when you
And maybe
take
there
over,
were other
so yeah,
things
so
when you were still the assistant.
when you take
This is what I was going
when
to
you
say
take
as
over,
well, because
when you take over,
most of the time,
Yeah.
African players, they don't respect African coaches.
African
yeah.
coaches.
So when you take over like that, and you need to invite because I mean there's 2 games before the main qualifiers. You invite the people that are there in Egypt because I think for Egypt they did very well.
Controversial as this may sound,
Yeah.
but one club official once told me that South African players don't respect black coaches. But that's another story for another day.
But no.
No, we move.
It's your own.
No.
It's your own.
I am not. I am
No,
not.
Mr.
I am not.
You cannot say that.
We are
I
black.
am not
We are black
a
players.
player.
The issue is simple.
No.
You command respect. You don't demand for it. You command it. The way you behave with the players, you command respect.
But
if you
but
behave in a manga way, they'll
making
point
my
you out
point.
quickly.
You know when you're with players, they have to defend.
No, as a
their
player,
stand.
You command
your mentality.
respect. You
We
don't
move.
demand it.
It doesn't matter.
No.
It
I'm
doesn't
done on this
matter
point. I'm
your
done.
color.
I'm done on this point.
You're
I'm
playing
done.
for yourself, playing your family, playing for
CAF
the
Champions
nation.
League this weekend. We talk the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Very interesting because this is a North African affair, as it has always been most of the time, especially in the last decade, when it comes to this competition. But this time around, we only talk about 2 countries involved.
3, yeah?
No, CAF Champions League.
Champions League, yeah.
Yes. We're only talking about 2 countries involved. The Moroccans and the Egyptians. The first legs are in Morocco this weekend. And next weekend they move to Boko Al Arab Stadium in Alexandria. It's a very good site because for me, that's where I accompanied Sundowns back in 2016 to fetch their maiden CAF Champions League title. But before I talk about Wydad Casablanca and Al Ahly, because we know there's a strong interest.
Yeah.
I saw Raja last week concluding the program in style, because one moment you think Wydad has taken the Portola Pro League, but Raja comes back. I will not discuss the goal that won the title because it appeared to be too suspicious for me. But in terms of the momentum, what does this result do to Raja in terms of the momentum? Now, they've been celebrating. I was talking to a journalist from there yesterday, Jalal, in Morocco, and was telling me that Raja fans are still in a celebratory mode ahead of this weekend's game, the first leg against Zamalek.
Yeah, but if you ask from my perspective, first of all, I wouldn't have liked to have the tournament in Morocco. Well, first of all. Secondly, because of the coronavirus pandemic, we shouldn't have that, hosting in Africa. Because when from last season, the Moroccan and the Tunisian, you know how it was the whole hullabaloo about that VAR. So the spirit are not really calm. And I was talking to most of the journalists in the West Africa, Central Africa, and even they are very critical of the president of CAF to say that most of the time he's got a soft spot for Morocco.
Morocco, yeah.
Why is it going to Morocco? And the choice of the officials, the referees that will be who will be officiating the games, they don't command a lot of respect. They don't command a lot of pedigree, because since Legja, who used to be the president of Bekan, also the FA president of Morocco, is still at the helm of Moroccan football, and the tournament takes place in Morocco. It is very easy for him to manipulate the result of the game. So that's why, but for those reasons, I wouldn't want to have that. Just the way.
But at least the second legs are not there. And remember.
And that will be very tricky, because fortunately there won't be a lot of people in the stadium, because otherwise it was going to be chaos.
Yeah. So if you look at Zamalek, just like Al Ahly coming with a new coach, I think they've returned with Pacheco. He's gone back to coach Zamalek, and I don't know what to read on Mutada Munso being banned by the Olympic Committee there, but. I think if you look at how the
that guy should have been banned for life.
wasn't he banned before by CAF?
How many times will be he? Sometimes he's banned today, tomorrow he comes back. So we don't know with him. He's too powerful.
Yeah. But on the Zamalek team, what would you be expecting from them? Normally when teams in African football go away, they try and be very cautious to try and just secure the result and then come and finish at home.
Look, it's almost the repeat of last year. They know how to play out those games, semi-finals. You have been there before. These are very competitive sides. If you look at Zamalek and Casablanca, we are talking about territorial control. They have pride at stake at this moment in time. So Zamalek, they will go to try and to play the frustrating game and get a decent result. If they lose, they don't want to lose by a big margin. And when they come back home in Egypt, they try to wrap it up. So it's going to be very interesting. Yes, Jeff has hinted on the choice of Morocco. You have got the referees and everything like that. Everything points in favor of Morocco. But as a team, it's important as administrators to recognize that. You tell the players that we don't expect anything from the referee. We don't expect anything from the officials. We get onto the field of play and make sure that we play our game. Play clean, stay away from the 18-yard box, avoid fouls, so that there is no chance for penalty. And then you try to get a positive result.
And also because I like commercial side of the game. And the reason why I want this to be in the Maghreb region, it is because the consumers are not only Africa, actually Africa here, south of the equator, we don't consume too much of Maghreb or football. But their football is consumed in Asia. That's why they want that to be played there so they can have a visibility, the branding, the merchandising, all this. We in Africa here, we want to watch those games. They say that they're playing in Africa, but we want to watch the games.
Because the CAF Executive Committee sent CAF in the ICU, by terminating the deal without having an alternative. So we are.
They have alternatives, but they're very greedy.
We are in the ICU at this moment in time.
Talking about interest and to watch the game, I think here in South Africa we'll be very much interested in what will be happening on the game that takes place on Saturday. Wydad Casablanca up against Al Ahly. I know that Wydad, they were trying to win a trophy that was played 2 years ago in the boardroom, but thanks to us, that failed during this period. But maybe just what was your immediate reaction on Pitso accepting that move to Al Ahly?
So excited, it's one of those things we are campaigning for, at least, when you have done well for your local league, you need to go out and test yourself. And don't forget to this Nigerian day, Ajayi, to put it there, So any successful team there, just to add it there, But for Pitso, reputation, he has done very well, and I think it's time for him to go and test himself. He has done it with the national team, Sundowns. There's nothing to win again. He have done everything. The most successful coach in the land here. So going to Al Ahly, I think it's a good step for him. It's gonna be an interesting game, Fortunately, he played against. He's the one, Al Ahly, for them to qualify against Sundowns. Remember they
knocked Sundowns out.
You see now. So it's now for him to go and make sure that he go and live that cup, and I think he can do it. He has done very well. I'm just so happy again. The other thing he did for Calvin Johnson, for him to bring his own star. What can you say more? You can see he's trying to empower people around him. So I'm so happy, and everybody's wishing him well because we want him to do well.
For me, I think the masterstroke of a business genius is Mosepe. Having renewed a contract of Pitso for 4 years, and cashing in for the 4 years to go to Al Hilal, I think that's wonderful.
I will not delve deep on that one, but it is not what it seems to be.
But it should be.
No.
Because if you have,
I don't even want to look at you.
But I won't really talk about the game because it's a deja vu. We know what will happen between Wydad and Al Ahly. But now the tricky side of the matter is just because it played only on one leg. So it's only one game. So it's going to be very tricky.
No, they're going back next week. Or you mean the final? But no. The second leg is in Alexandria next week.
They're playing also Alexander, but I believe that they said they were going to play one game.
No, it's the final.
The final. Well, but I would like to talk about Pitso because it is the very first time we have an African coach, a black coach, going to Al Ahly. In the 113 years of existence of Al Ahly, it's huge. So Pitso should know that he's not there only for him. He's not there only for South Africa. He is there for all sub-Saharan Africa because he is carrying a lot on his shoulders. So he's a soldier who's going to the front to battle, for the upcoming generation. Because I know that he has a very big fan within Al Ahly, and that was Bibo. Bibo is Mohammed Al Khatib, who used to be the best player of Al Ahly. He's the president of Al Ahly. He wanted to see, because he said that Pitso plays a very beautiful game like a Brazilian team. So he's fan of Pitso. So we want that Pitso to carry that momentum and set a precedent for the upcoming African coach also to go and test the glory of the biggest club in Africa.
Very interesting. As we move to the CAF Confed, in fact, we'll just be looking at just one game there. The only team, which is, in this case, which is coming from outside the North African region, Horoya, they are up against Pyramids. And very interesting for me because Pyramids, I saw them playing against Al Ahly, struggling against 10-man Al Ahly. And now even in terms of qualifying for the CAF Champions League next year, they are not guaranteed if they'll finish second to Ali. Maybe this is an opportunity for them in this last four to show what they can do.
Definitely, this game is very important for them. Remember, this Pyramid is a team that is trying to claim their own status in the Egyptian football. So they have tried. They really bought well, but it takes time to really build a team to be very competitive. So I'll applaud them for the fact that they're in the semi-finals now. And if they
don't deserve this.
No, they deserve it.
No,
Egyptian league, they are third in the league.
It's not about deserving. It's about you working yourself there. And at this moment in time, they are there.
Yes, you say they are a new team playing now on the third of the north in Egyptian league. If not for Al Ahly running with the league,
the owner of Pyramid has got a lot of money. He bought all those players, and he has been buying officials to give them, most of the time.
No, we don't know about the officials. We don't know about the officials, but we know about their performance. We don't know about the officials. But totally log.
But talking to journalists in Egypt, one of the things they've been mentioning is that this team, yes, they've got the money, but they don't have the support base.
Yeah, they don't have that.
But winning come with that.
They don't even play well.
No, there are certain things money cannot buy.
You just mentioned that they were struggling against the 10-man Al Ahly. Yes, they don't play well.
It's a new team. You must give them a chance. It's a new team. They are building a new team.
There are certain things money cannot buy.
Egyptian league. They are in semi-finals in the in the Confederations. What more do you ask for? They can go on and win this tournament.
I think the administration, I think they have to go into retrospective to try and understand how a team should be managed. Yes, they have got the money, but I think they are lacking in how to manage a team because some of them are coming from Al Hilal. There is that competitiveness try to prove a point against Al Hilal. So I think that's where the problem is. If they can concentrate on building this team to compete on the African continent, they have a chance because they've got the resources. But the moment you lack that basic administrative structure of running a team, you're gonna struggle.
But how's that for a lineup? You have the top three teams in the Egyptian league. One in the Confederations Cup semi-finals, two in the semi-finals in the CAF Champions League. What can you say? And those are local players. You talk about Chan. You talk about Chan to be crap. Okay. Those are local players. No, I'm just putting my argument there. I'm just putting my argument there.
Your argument should be based on the league, the Egyptian league. because
Look,
those teams
Chan,
are playing
what-
on a
what-
very strong
and,
Egyptian
and,
league.
and, and for that
players
matter,
playing-
and for that
the-
matter,
the
you,
players
you
playing
cannot
for
you
Chan.
cannot you cannot mix Egyptian football and Chan because
No,
in
I mean Chan is for local players.
no, in Egypt they don't respect Chan.
Yeah.
In Egypt.
Don't
In
No,
Egypt.
talk about the league, the Egyptian league.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just saying there.
let's go back to the transfer window.
Yeah.
I know that just to make this man smile, all eyes. Last year, I think Arsenal were robbed in France. The amount of money they paid for Pepe, and we then had the amount of money that was paid for Napoli for Victor Osimhen, and I always hold that boy in, because it's a boy who comes from the
From
under
the ghetto,
17
yeah.
tournament, play of the tournament at the under 17 World Cup as well. But now in this recent window, making headlines again was another African, Thomas Partey, 52 million pounds, but people are saying he moves from a team that is a regular in the top 8 and also maybe in the top 4 when it comes to the UEFA Champions League in Atletico Madrid, to a team that has been struggling for the past 5 seasons.
Now that they are not
Yeah.
struggling. They were not struggling.
No.
Oh,
In terms of making the Champions League.
Yeah.
yeah. Arsenal.
Arsenal, yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes. But why is this such a big deal?
You want to change the environment. You want a new challenge. You want a new challenge because if he can really bring up Arsenal to go back to the Champions League, they will be talking about him, which is not the case at Atletico Madrid. Because at Madrid he has won UEFA League. Is it UEFA League or La Liga or whatever it is, and he has also played in the Champions League final. But they don't talk about him. They don't talk about him. So most of the time it's the coach who steals the limelight from the players. But when he goes to Arsenal, if he can really fit in the plane drawn by Arteta, so he will be a big man. And for me, I think that it's a very intelligent move.
Do you think maybe because also it comes from an Anglophone country, and maybe in Africa, when we look at the leagues, EPL comes first?
Yeah. That's a big point I want to say. When you
It depends. It
from
depends
Ghana,
which country you are.
No, for Ghana, the supporters from Ghana and Nigeria, they watch EPL mostly. And for Ghana football now, this is a very big move. Apart from Essien that did that move to Chelsea, and he was the limelight in Ghana at that time. This is the next big thing. Ghanaians are very happy. Not only Ghanaians, even the Nigerians, because to play for Arsenal, for we in Africa, mostly in West Africa, the EPL is the most watched league, in terms of, people concentrate.
But not the best for me.
Not the best for you, but in terms of watching in West
welcome
Africa.
to the club. I thought I was the only one who said that. It is the best marketed, but not the best in terms of play.
For me, I think it's the best move. It's a good move, in terms of where he is now in Arsenal. You cannot buy a player like that and sit on the bench, and I think he can contribute a lot in Arsenal, and I think Arsenal will go places with him.
Yeah.
I think on the African continent, we're lacking a player who can represent Africa at this moment in time. When we are looking about almost all the leagues, to mention a name that resonates as a representative of Africa, we are lacking in that. Thomas Partey comes as the most expensive African player, actually, at this moment in time, and he's signing for Arsenal. Now, if you look at Ghana, it has not had those great players. We have got their youth. They are good players, but they have not been able to break that ceiling to represent Africa.
In Africa, the judge will play.
But it's no longer there. Currently, we're looking
one is him.
We are looking at these players who can come. But for me, the key for this signing is a team in Arsenal that is under a rebuilding phase, and they've got a party who can do the shielding and the playing to try and get back on that on that level. So I think for me it was a right choice for him. He will play for the next 3 seasons in Arsenal, and I think in that we can get more African players to get into the English Premier League at this moment in time.
I'm coming back to you. But now we move to politics, because African football will never be beautiful.
Absolutely.
It was not for the politics. Kwesenya Dachi, when he was banned lifetime, given a lifetime ban for what he did. Earlier this year, I took up an advancing course on investigative journalism, and my focus was on that case. And we all clapped hands. But now it's been reduced at CAS in Switzerland to 15 years.
We've got to contextualize, the whole matter. Firstly, I was very uneased in the fact that it was supposed to be a foreign journalist to come and investigate our matters to get Kwesi, sentenced. I was not happy about that because we don't know we don't know what was behind his reasoning. That's why when Kwesi went to TAS, is it TAS or CAS?
CAS, yes.
Yes. I want sometimes we need that suit, if it is a suit, to be also televised so we can know how it is being dealt with. For me, I would say it's a good thing because everybody deserves a second chance.
No,
but I don't want him to be.
I disagree.
I don't want him to be at the FA. He can be in football, managing teams. But
Why do you
FA.
disagree?
I disagree. Why? If you're a thief and sentenced, you should serve and go under rehabilitation.
No.
We don't want you back in football. He has not recognized, he has not come out to say, I'm sorry I've done this. No, he's trying to fight for his life to come back and steal.
But
we should not.
Who says that
Jeff,
what has been portrayed is the truth?
No, the fact of the matter is, he's appealing and he's saying he has been charged, guilt as charged, and he has not denied that. He has not denied that, and he's saying, please.
No, he denied. That's why he went into appeal.
No. He said, I'm guilty.
He was sin.
No, listen.
I mean, we're not talking about something where, he say, no, the evidence is there.
No, listen.
It's there.
Vileli, accused, guilty.
As charged.
And then he accepts. Then he says, how can I reduce this verdict? Let me appeal to reduce the sentence. Not to say I'm not wrong.
So, what are you trying to say now?
No,
are you saying now
he should be banned for life?
No. Why? Everybody deserves a second chance.
For me,
okay. But it's not he's been acquitted. The sentence has been just reduced.
Jeff, I hear you.
Yeah. So after 15 years, he will still come back in 15 years.
15 years.
But 15 years, how old will he be?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay, for now, the 15 years
it's just we don't want. He can come back. He can come back and watch football, but not in administration.
Timothy, you have already served 2 years. It's from 2018. So you have 13 years to go. But don't forget, you still have a team in Ghana, Wild Star FC. Would they play Champions League 2 years back, or it's still in football one way or the other.
No.
It's
not once you're banned,
I know, but
you cannot occupy any role.
This is the problem with us Africans.
He has a team in Ghana. But for me, I mean, it doesn't matter. 15 years is still long because after 13 years, we don't know.
No,
we don't know where it's
Etafia.
It to be 15. You already served 2.
Wait. Why do you think it deserves a second chance?
He deserves a second. He deserves a second chance. Why not?
Everybody deserves a second chance.
Everybody deserves a second chance.
I mean, this is a man.
Yes,
who was seen taking 65,000 USD.
I want.
But he has not been acquitted.
On camera.
No.
He has not been acquitted.
Like this.
Jeff, listen to me. How do you qualify for a second chance when you have not taken responsibility on record?
How do you want him to take responsibility?
No.
To admit that what he did is wrong.
Listen.
And now his ban has just been reduced.
For life.
Yeah.
No.
For what?
Yes.
And then
for corruption.
Yes. Then when he goes to appeal, he's not saying I stole. He's saying, can you reduce my sentence?
So he's not showing any remorse.
That's the common knowledge about.
No. So we are saying
what about
the people who deserve a second chance?
What about Sepp
are
Blatter?
Those who take?
What about Sepp Blatter? What about Michel Platini? How many times have they gone to CAS to get the sentence reduced? And for me, Kwesi should go again to get it reduced again, because Platini has got now only 2 years.
No, listen.
Talking of.
Yes. And the Sepp Blatter, they're still going to test.
But that's what I'm saying.
We know
what I'm saying.
We know that in Switzerland.
Jeff, the issue is
the case has started of the case of the former SG at FIFA.
Jerome Varga.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is a criminal case.
Yeah.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And according to my understanding, Kwese, this is just a sporting matter as it stands. There are still some criminal charges. He's attending to a court case.
The 15 years like life bans. It's just because
so he could still find himself behind the bars.
Yes, but why we have to say that FIFA said that? What about the government of Ghana? They say that they're going to ask the prosecutor to launch an investigation. What about their findings?
No.
We don't know about that.
No. That case is still in court, but you know what happens sometimes with our justice system in our African countries. That's the sort of stuff
question should go back to
no. Appeal again.
Because Platini has appealed the 4 times.
The issue
I don't know how many times.
Jeff, the issue is actually at this moment in time, we are sitting with the most incompetent CAF president because he's fumbling around with the FIFA president. Now it's the same as CAS. We need to clean up football. Now, if we cannot stand and say corruption...
Let me take you on your point. As you say, this man is not good enough. Now, let's talk the CAF elections. They are just around the corner. The nominations are open, and the candidates are coming out. Very interesting. Wow. You've already set the ball rolling.
Look, the elections will either symbolize, the end of CAF as a marketing entity, or the death or burial of the association with its leadership, or they can have a chance to resurrect themselves and try to get on the right footing. At this moment in time, we're in the ICU because of the executive committee. The decision they made to remove the financial powerhouse of CAF, we are limping at this moment in time. Now, the composition of the voting bloc of the CAF president is a cause for worry, because the current CAF president was already donating funds to various FA presidents who are the voters at this moment in time. Now, who is going to vote, and they vote for who? Which credible FA president is going to stand up and say, we have had enough, we need to try and get African football back on track? That's my worry. So when you talk about elections,
there's two candidates from Tunisia, if I'm not mistaken, Tariq and Ahmed Pinic definitely is going to be there.
The two.
Yeah, so Ahmed
the two candidates. One is going for the executive seat, and the other one.
But there's some latest developments this week, because we know with Tariq, he's the current executive committee member, but also he's in the FIFA council. He has been endorsed by the Minister of Sport in Tunisia. But now there's an interesting point. He needs the endorsement of the FA
from other
Tunisia.
He will get it.
No. The guy now, Walid Jari.
Yeah, the one who's vying for the executive seat. Yeah.
Earlier this week, he came out to say he's also standing for the presidency.
Yeah, so there are two now.
And FA cannot endorse two candidates. But according to the information that I have, he is in Ahmad's camp. Okay. So he's doing that just to block Tunisian FA from endorsing Tariq, so that he goes.
So they can endorse him.
They can endorse him, and then he goes there. And then when he's there, the nomination has closed. It's too late for Tariq to be.
But you still have Ahmed Pinic too, who can, still contest with Ahmed because he's having support from, in terms of Sierra Leone and Liberia. Bility definitely is going to be.
I don't know.
We need the North African bloc. The North African bloc.
I think there's a Nigeria there coming there to do something there. But I think for me, for now in Nigeria, what's going around is going to states. Nigeria, we have the states, just to support him with, normally you go to from Delta states, they already endorse him, they want to support him. Because now he's not talking about saying he want to use his phone. People want to make sure he must contest. But now you need to leave one position there, because you remember he's a member. So you have to contest either president or still remain member. So he's going to choose one of the
but
two.
But he's no more a member of the
that's what I'm saying, that because the election is March on the 12th of Next year.
Yes,
next year.
Nomination, I think, is closing now in December.
No, in November 12th. 12th of November.
But we still have someone else from Tanzania.
No, people that are coming out. We're not talking about people that are coming from behind. People in front now.
But here we cannot ignore the role of FIFA. Because we know the role that Gianni Infantino was said to have played in Ahmad coming through, and I think we saw it. And those who are following what happens, they will tell you about the G15, and the G15 was this collaboration of African presidents who met in Mexico in one of the congresses where they started this, and you will know this very well. Now there's an issue here because Gianni Infantino is alleged to be lining up the Mauritanian president, FA president.
Mauritanian?
Yes, Yahya.
Yeah, we heard about it, but for me, I will say that the best candidate will be from Niger, Amadou Djibril.
Why him?
Because he knows the in and out of CAF, and he was not in the best book of the former Cameroonian
Ayatu
and Blatter, because he's one of the disciples of Tessema. Because for me, if CAF is today, CAF is because it Tessema, the former president. So Djibrila comes from that crop of disciples, and I want him. But the fact that he speaks French, I have a problem with that, because it's been most French speakings heading the CAF. I don't like that.
Very interesting. But I think when it comes to this one, is also going to see a number of current CAF executive committee members. A number of
15,
them,
15.
Yes, that have to make way. And remember, there was this wave in 2017 when they came, because we were changing from the 29-year rule of Issa Hayatou, you know. So I think that's where it becomes interesting now to say there was that rule that was saying you can only nominate a CAF president within the CAF exco. And things are different now.
No, they're different,
Yeah, but Ahmad, even in in 2017, when he was elected the president, he was elected president, they want to go and fetch Djibrila Amadou, but by that time he was the minister of sport.
And the rules didn't allow him.
But the rule didn't allow him. But now he tried to come back, and it's going to be very difficult, because now Amadou, the Malagasy guy, has got a lot of money. He's been, as he said, that he's been sending money to FA president. Even if you got nothing to do, you say that we're sending you money for your FA. What is it for? What is it for?
But I've been seeing a very strong manifesto type and campaign. If you look at the information that CAF has been releasing of late, because it's always difficult when it comes to politics to compete against the incumbent.
It's always challenging, but I think there's something brewing, because we know that the Attorney General of Switzerland had to step down because of relationship with Infantino. Now, that is playing in the African continent, because Infantino was very close to Hamad, and he was shielding Hamad from his sexual and all those corruption activities that were taking place. So at this moment in time, Infantino is standing on him, alone to first sort out his own issues, and then football on the African continent. So at this moment in time, that relationship is being broken on the African continent and the FIFA president. So whoever will come, Ahmed Hamad doesn't have a shield protecting him now completely. So at this moment, I think that was a very good decision when it came to Rabat, being forced to resign as the Attorney General of Switzerland. And so as these investigations take place in Switzerland that are almost affecting the FIFA president Infantino, I think that will have a wonderful positive influence on the elections in Africa.
But also we have to find out what is happening on the investigation about Ahmad in France. Yeah. Because he was detained in custody.
Yeah, that's still a company.
Yeah, it's never been, released. Yes. So we don't know what about the outcome. When is he going to court and which court?
Yeah. Trust me, the campaigning is underway in some quarters. You are going to see all these things coming up now.
Yeah.
But talking of Ahmad, just to conclude now, here in South Africa, I've heard in some quarters that Ahmad is being blamed for Kaizer Chiefs not signing players currently due to the transfer ban. And having listened to Ahmad before, he's someone who's very strong on this perceived looking down on some so-called smaller countries and smaller clubs in how they are treated by the so-called big brothers. And if you look at the issue of Kaizer Chiefs and Fossa Juniors and how this has resulted in Chiefs being banned by FIFA from signing players for the next 2 transfer windows. Obviously, there was the hearing at CAS, you know. So let's just talk about, because some believe that Chiefs are being punished unfairly, but I went through the whole award of the FIFA dispute resolution chamber, and one thing I find there's no strong argument from Kaizer Chiefs on most of the points put forward by Fossa Juniors.
No, look, it's very interesting when it comes to, you know, Fossa Junior is an amateur team.
Yes.
Now,
yes. At the time the deal was concluded.
At the time, and then we're talking about Kaizer Chiefs.
Correct.
Now, there is a habit on the African continent. When they hear that it is Kaizer Chiefs that wants a player, immediately they come up with new contracts and new demands to try and milk money from that particular club. And that's exactly what happened in this case. So when they did recognize that this player is wanted by Kaizer Chiefs, they wanted to get money. Unfortunately, they did not involve their own player, who claims he didn't have a proper contract with them and everything like that. And this is what is very crucial. Now, if they wanted to make money, they should have involved the player and then would have made money. But they demanded. And now with the backing of the CAF president, they had a strong case to present.
And a CAF president who's also the vice president at FIFA.
Yes.
But that's what I was also saying, because the same happened to Vita.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're saying. The Vita fielded a Malian player.
Yes.
Just because they saw him playing in the Champions League, they came back to say, no, it's Vita. We want more money. Give us $50,000. And Vita said, no, we conclude the deal with the player and his agent. You guys, you haven't paid him for 6 months. It's not just because we Vita and you saw him in Champions League that we have to give you a lot of money. And Vita was disqualified. That was in 2016, allowing Sundowns to go through. The very same thing happened now with Fossa. That's why I was saying that for me, Kaizer Chiefs should sleep on their laurels. They have to go. They have to push that. I do believe that the Kaizer Chiefs have a strong friend.
Yes,
they've got a good case.
And another good point here that we must also give that has got context to what we're talking about. The person who's in charge of Fossa Juniors is alleged because he's got his roots in Holland, and he's alleged to have funded the campaign of Ahmad to get to CAF.
For me, Kaizer Chiefs, I just think they need to concentrate on one thing. You know, they haven't done well for a local league for a very long time. They need to just concentrate now to win the league first of all, win the MTN8 and win every cup.
No. They don't have to live it like just. No,
I mean for now,
I've been in most of the clubs. Most of the clubs in South Africa.
Football is a psychological
thing. For me,
thing.
there's no team which is very well organized in terms of like as the Chiefs.
Never.
So Sundowns.
No. When you're talking about management, when you're talking about management, the level of organization of Kaizer Chiefs is European.
We are talking about.
You can only compare with European teams
on a field of play now.
Now
they should concentrate. But they have got the organization. They can be organized.
How do you concentrate when you cannot reinforce the squad?
They can be organized, but they need to win something now. They haven't won for quite a long time. We want them to win the league. We want them to win MTN8. the Netbank Cup, anything available must win.
Yeah.
Forget about the African the Champions League now.
That is wishful thinking. They need to reinforce the squad to be able to be competitive.
The squad they have
and
now.
that's something they cannot do at this stage.
You understand?
And when you look at it, currently, you look at how Sundowns have been reinforcing their squad. You look at the way.
Some are going out.
The Ghanaian number one is on his way to Orlando.
Really,
as we speak,
Sundowns,
he will play
some goes out.
KEF football, something he's not been doing.
No.
Where he's been, but Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
Just to give you some information.
Yeah.
Kaizer Chiefs, since KEF introduced, I think it was around 1997 or 98 when KEF introduced the group stages. Kaizer Chiefs, be it in the KEF Champions League or KEF Confed, they've never played in the group stages.
Yeah.
And they've got a coach who just made his first group stages last year, Gavin Hunt.
One of the best coach, apart from Pitso,
yes.
One of the best coach in the country. So they're sorted.
Yeah.
They're sorted there.
So as we close,
No, what is important at this moment in time, we should recognize that South African teams, until Sundowns picked interest in the CAF Champions League game, they were not interested because of the
Orlando Pirates.
well, I think let's educate you on this one. Orlando Pirates before Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, that is a space. When Pirates,
it was its space.
No. When Pirates beat TP Mazembe in 2013, South Africa had not had a team. I think making the group stages since 2007.
No, we had many Rangers.
No. I'm saying now in 2013, when Pirates reached the group stages, we had not had a team making the group stages since 2006. Mitchell was the coach back then. And that Pirates team that went on to play early and lost in the final, that was now the team, So it's always been Pirates.
Was it Mitchell or Tinkler?
It was Mitchell. It was Mitchell in 2006. Lost to CS Faxian in the semi-finals. So it is important for Kaizer Chiefs because the Champions League is lucrative.
Absolutely.
And that's where you also get to give players exposure. Especially in the European market, because Champions League is shown in Europe, is shown in the Gulf region.
And then you'll be very competitive when you come back to play the
let's
league.
start with the local one. That's why we say they must win the league first, win the MTN8, win the Netbank, and leave that one first.
But they must not be treated, unfairly, because in these things of Forza, Kaizer Chiefs has done no wrong.
Nothing.
Nothing wrong.
Because what the player presents. You know, sometimes when you ask a player, say, you have an agent, I have an agent. You have a contract with the club.
We will leave that to the legal eagles.
Are you trying to say players cannot be trusted?
I don't say that.
What I can tell you now,
sometimes the players cannot be trusted.
No, never. Don't bet your life on it.
I think for now, on my left hand side and on my right hand side, and the judge, they lived up to the expectations. This is African football was back for the first time since this lockdown has locked out since March. We'll be back again next week, and the DSTV Absa Premiership will be starting. We'll be looking at what can we expect from some of our top African players. And yes, we would have concluded the first legs of the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confed. And the son of the soil, Jingles Pitso Mosimane, we should know by this time next week if he is indeed taking Al Ahly to the promised land of the record 9th Champions League title. Gentlemen,
thank you very much.
Thank you
for the invitation.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.